先生，你好吗？我们今天要讲的是 Dr. Seuss. In 1957, the Cat in the Hat turned Ted into a superstar author. He had become the head of his own publishing house. As if it wasn't enough, for 1 year he is inventing rich. In the night of Grinch, Dr. Seuss himself and plays out plays. Nothing Grinch out the name of them of them was obvious to me who he has as soon as publishing Hungry stole Christmas and Big Fit. A few years later, in the call from an old friend, and Chuck joins infamous animator creator with the Roadrunner and Wild Ecoys and with the person and Grinch for TV chat uneasy about the idea, but he trusts joins. He even let him turn the Grinch green. The Grinch Christmas specials appeared on TV in 1966 and been a holiday favorite ever since. Nothing's in this exactly life, and they want is always a bloody money. They just and they have more ads. They have you read all the details of that, so no draw and all that. And all the days of the family goes a house in test nights and places us playing with Peggy already with Nergis house in touch and Becky and her funny Shaggy South California and he lost in Diesel no wiles and lives all of a sudden all his study and his friends on and this one is kind of a gentle like and they want an artist of a few with studio of work and the shows of the books and the classic cat and hat. And comes back one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish, and hop on pop. And the test stories are lots of fun and they also brought serious idea. You're told the turtle and other stories about the hedgehog who pushes everyone and ordinary little turtles into a brave enough instead of a place and you don't heal turn. Along with the objects and shoes of the puppets and winners of parks, it had nobody impressed with the page of a children's book. It is made of measles, species of stories and words and plays in 1960s and back in the people of with the civil rights and just describe trouble between when stars on snitch and the Jews without stars and stories short of the house and I would not request when looking different books and 8 hours in the desk and even the days a week and he has all the words on the road himself in a corner so there was seemingly no way nothing back to a book and he had always write his way out and had a deal and test moves there had explained a few weeks when publishing every book. He decided nothing of business and then hung out the whole thing with the finish of his books. With the bad and worry of things and the doodles of because it happy again of the center and has that lovely base in heaven of enjoy travel when they two and elephants and super roof and how of searching mummies in Australia, Africa and Hawaii. 诶，还有中文的，在这边圣诞怪节啊， At first, Dr. Seuss books were not well known outside the United States. People in England thought they were too American and get rude and slingy, and it's hard to adopt the books in other countries because Dr. Seuss rhymes and invented words that are almost impossible to translate. Clever translators tried, however, and soon Dr. Seuss wings spread of the whole world. Eventually, its voices appeared in more than 20 languages, including Chinese, Swedish, Spanish, Hebrew, Mario, Latin, Japanese, Greek, and Yiddish. At home, an enter guests all gather in piano and sing. Sometimes it shows hundreds of a helicopter in California posts always smash on each other or more of 10 times. In 1957 alone, he received almost £1,000 of fan mail. Helen answered common sense and letters. This is Dr. Seuss. And that's what the for of speaking public how famous men have with the peach the verse and explains to a group of zealous and trusted knows and then completely interpret of speaking in prose. After many happy years together, Helen begins writing of his version again at October 23, 1967. She died and she was 68 years old. For 40 years he had been taken everything for that he had no money. His matters showed him no publicity. No more of his line he wrote in all his house and his life alone and in need of companion. In 1968, this Mary Andrew Diamond of enclosed with his social shows for many years. He has married with books and told never heard Dr. Seuss without interest of our very own dear Dr. Seuss is also not his medical doctor. The doctor quickly and enjoyed his work, however, into an informing detail with him. And just Helen's always done majority ever. No, married and daughter died with 89 for years. He's worried that at this point and to his daughter and sometimes they, not, they did not speak each other for a long time and his dad was successful and happy with his life and becoming good and Ted always treasures enormous stone dinosaur footprints I've given him. He carried his house of household of life by 1970. The view and life on his tower window changed. And once he looked out with the beaches and trees of the lands and covered with house. In an apartment he decided to write a book about carrying natural world of the first time. The message of the book came before the story of characters. Although that's the hardest thing I've ever done. He has so many facts and much about natural world. And the story kept turning into a lecture, a completed stuff, and during all of this, let's go to Africa. Then Kenya discovered the trees of the puppies and invented his new book and stolen the country streets of Houston and safari trip of and saw and heard a wild elephant ambling by. Suddenly, he knew exactly what he wanted to say. He grabbed a scrap paper and wrote almost the story of a sitting and wrote like the story of beautiful lantern of which breeze grows. In 1989, the Lorax became the first Dr. Seuss books, encounters censorships and organs in industry and wanted of school reading list, but Ted argued that he wasn't against logging or industry that was made of wood and print on paper. He pointed out is against people went too far when the war damaged and caused. In 1984, the Butter Battle book came out. It too. The people's and some people angry. The story has news of the Zulus and enemies who keep the building bigger against the rules and then have the weapons of destroy things of the wars of the viewing of the comfort and happy ending. The United States and you are born trying the bigger, better weapons and the better battle books. The readers of the story ends and some they wanted in library shelves are convinced the United States during the World War II, how would he fight against the war and the important time himself? You are not just writing the books for children, you are writing for humanity. The books of success proves her point of the first children's book to spend 6 months about adult best seller of the New York Times Book Review. Ted liked to, join as responsible for the end of the Cold War. In the Cold War, 1990, Visions of the Butter Battle book on television and Science for Union. The Darren's Make and the Billy Listening as an organization is how it is.